Who controls the sun? The answer to this question is simple. The sun controls the sun. We can only trap and control a small fraction of the sun's energy. In the good old days, civilizations would worship the sun in an attempt to control it. The Egyptians worshipped the sun god Ra in 2500 BC. The word radiance is derived from Ra. The Greeks imagined the sun as a great king who thundered across the sky every day. When the Romans came into power, they inherited the Greek sun god and called him Apollo. He also rode his chariot across the sky. Astronomers have determined that our sun contains 99.5% of the mass of our solar system. Ironically, most of this mass is made up of the smallest atom, hydrogen, devoid of an electron. This charged particle is commonly called a proton. Under normal conditions, it's almost impossible to force like-charged particles like protons together. But fortunately, the core of the sun provides an ideal environment for fusion to take place. Densely packed protons at the core get close, and the temperature exceeds 27 million degrees Fahrenheit. This causes the protons to fuse. 600 million tons of hydrogen fuse to produce 596 million tons of helium every second. 4 million tons of pure energy are released in the process. The released thermal energy pushes outward, and the gravitational force of the dense core pulls matter inward. Without this outwardly expanding force, our sun would collapse. These two self-regulating forces keep our sun in dynamic equilibrium. This is how the sun controls itself. The question we should be asking ourselves is, how can we make good use of the energy sent from the sun? Sunlight is an intermittent resource, and we are accustomed to energy on demand. Earth-bound nuclear power plants supply power on demand. They use control rods to control the rate of nuclear fission. But control rods degrade and become contaminated. When control rods are no longer useful, they must be replaced. The degraded control rods must then be buried in toxic dump sites and monitored for hundreds of years. The sun does not have this problem. It's a self-regulating nuclear power plant that balances the forces of hydrogen fusion with the energy it produces. It is said to be in hydrostatic equilibrium. Unfortunately, on planet Earth, sunlight is an intermittent resource, and we have become accustomed to the luxury of energy on demand. We know that coal and oil and gas are in limited supply, and we know that the byproducts of combustion are destroying our planet. But old habits die hard. We have been lulled into complacency by corporate greed and government-controlled lobbies and special interest groups. Change is slow, and if we wait for government to guide us into the promised land, we may never get there. Sunlight provides more than enough energy for everyone. All we have to do is tap into this renewable energy supply. Farmers have been doing this since the dawn of civilization, and now we can all become solar farmers. We can build and install our own solar collectors. We can build our own sun sheds and solar greenhouses, or we can hire people to do it for us. Charge controllers regulate the net power flow into a bank of batteries from photovoltaic panels. Inverters control the transformation of DC power into AC power, and can tie sun power to grid power. In other words, it is possible to harness the convenience of energy on demand with an intermittent resource like sunlight. All we need is a better understanding of energy-efficient housing and a plan. With these tools, we can make a better connection with the sun. Visit me on JC Solar Homes and discuss your solar home plans on G+ or Facebook or Skype. Learn how to trap and control the sun's power.
nothing left to win. You vote for your man and I'll vote for him. Doesn't really matter, 'cause nothing's gonna change. It's just another face on the TV to blame. Well, that's just politics. At least that's what they say. But the way this country's heading, there's got to be a better way. Congress has agendas and the president has his, but the only one who gets ahead is the pharmaceutical biz. Lawyers and companies that represent our health are choking our economy and hoarding all the wealth. Well, that's America. At least that's what they say. But the way this country's heading, there's got to be a better way. I'm certainly not always right, and I don't know my left. Who's coming down the middle is responsible for theft, thievery, and the highest for the votes that could have been. Look how deep the water is in the pool that we fell in. Well, that's just politics. At least that's what they say. And the way this country's heading, there's got to be a better way. With politics for hire and the presidency for sale, one nation under God, lift up your right hand and hail. Say goodbye to anyone who actually could lead. The public only wants to see a pretty face succeed. Well, that's America. At least that's what they say. But the way this country's heading, there's got to be a better way. Unions taking money, raping laws so out of date. When everybody gets a piece, there's nothing on the plate. Taxes pushing elderly out of house and home. Can't you hear the IRS tear the skin right off your bone? Well, that's our government. At least that's what they say. But the way this country's heading, there's got to be a better way.